If you could change a man's personality by accident, could you do it on purpose? This question was probably the spark that later drove a man, Gottlieb Burckhardt, to take things a step further. As the medical director of a small Swiss asylum, Burckhardt had helplessly watched patients cycle through violent and untreatable agitation. Inspired by the idea that mental illnesses had localized origins in the brain, however, he performed the first modern psychosurgical operations in 1888 on a woman, removing 18 grams of brain tissues from her brain, a process which was quite successful. After examining his patient for some time, Gottlieb commented that the woman had been turned from a dangerous, demented person to a quiet, demented one. He used the same technique called topectomy, excising small areas from the frontal, temporal, and parietal lobes in 5 more patients. His success was, however, limited to the first person, as 2 patients died. Others had seizures or aphasia. When Burckhardt presented his results in Berlin in 1890, the response wasn't praise but condemnation. He was effectively ostracized by the medical community and gave up his surgical work. He, however, never stopped practicing as a psychiatrist and died in 1907. His reputation in tatters and his ideas largely forgotten. One might have thought this to be the end of brain slicing, but decades later, a new figure appeared. The Portuguese neurologist and former politician, Antonio Egas Moniz. Unlike Burckhardt, Moniz was already famous for inventing cerebral angiography in 1927. His path to surgery was sparked at the 1935 International Neurological Congress in London, where he saw a presentation that changed everything. Yale researchers showed that a chimp nicknamed Becky had lost its aggressive, anxious nature after frontal lobe damage without losing its intelligence. This was the epiphany Burckhardt never had. Moniz reasoned that if he could surgically remove the frontal lobe, which was the seat of thought, mentally unstable patients would be immediately cut off from abnormal thinking, which caused their condition. In November 1935, he and neurosurgeon Almeida Lima performed the first prefrontal lobotomy on a human. Moniz claimed that 2/3 of his first patients improved, including 1/3 considered cured. Unlike Burckhardt, however, Moniz was met with international acclaim and even received the Nobel Prize for Physiology or Medicine. In 1949,